Welcome to Journaling with Nature, the podcast for those who want to turn curiosity into wonder, a pencil sketch into a rabbit hole of discovery, a moment of stillness into a life full of joy. I'm your host, Bethan Burton. Let's open the pages of our nature journals and explore this world together. Hello, this is episode 119. I'm bringing you another Nature Journal prompt episode today, but before we start on that, I'd like to say a warm and heartfelt thank you to the Patreon supporters of the show and those who offer support through donations on the Journaling with Nature website. Your donations are what keep it possible for me to continue with this work, and it's deeply appreciated, so thank you. Last time, our prompt was to create some nature spots, inspired by the nature spot practice of Lisa Spangler, who was a guest on the podcast. I'm wondering now how you went with that one. I saw a few pages that people had created and posted on social media. It was absolutely delightful to see your interpretation of the prompt and the colours of your landscape put down as nature spots. I've been thinking and talking to folks recently about stretching out of our comfort zones and trying things in our journals that might scare us or things that we might deliberately avoid. One of these things for me is adding people to my nature journal pages. I always love seeing people on other people's pages. I think it adds to the narrative and it puts you in the action, so to speak. It's something I would love to do myself, but whenever I think about it, something stops me. It's like I feel that my pages will be spoiled somehow if I try and then mess it up. I think this is the biggest sticking point for me, the subject that I would really like to tackle, but that I have a personal barrier to. For others, I know that complex subjects like trees are a barrier. So this week, I want us to stretch out of our comfort zone and try something new. If you always draw botanicals, how about trying some animals? If you always sketch birds, how about a complex tree? Or if, like me, you'd like to tell more of a story on the pages by adding people, give it a go. Or it might be that you were gifted a gorgeous set of gouache paints by a friend and you've been too scared to use them until now. I'm talking to myself, of course. Thank you, Karina. I'm going to use them this very week. Sometimes it's materials that can be causing a barrier to us, something that we haven't been practiced at. So that could be another way to stretch out of our comfort zones. I'm actually taking my son to New Caledonia for a couple of weeks, so I figured this might be the perfect time to start trying to add people into my pages and tell a story of our trip. Can you think of something that you've been scared to do but would really like to try? I'd love to see what you create from this prompt, so if you post on social media, you can tag me or use the hashtag journalingwithnature and I'll be able to see your pages. I think there's a time for being comfortable and there's a time to stretch a little, and this week we're going to stretch. Thank you so much for listening. See you next week.